Hey guys, this is Mr. Ford. I'm doing the Algebra 1, Topic 8 and 9 review today. Okay, so if you look at the first one, we're graphing a quadratic equation. So let's keep it super simple. First step is finding the axis of symmetry. Remember, it's negative b over 2a. So b in this case is 2. So negative 2 over 2 times a. A is 1, so negative 2 over 2. So x equals negative 1. Then I take that and I plug it back in to this. So negative 1 squared is 1. 1 plus negative 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. So my vertex is at negative 1, negative 2. And remember, this goes right in the middle. So negative 1, negative 2. And I go up 0, 1. And I go down negative 2, negative 3. Okay, I'm going to start by plugging in a 0, because I know if I can get this half, I can just fill it in for this half. So if I plug in a 0, 0 squared is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. If I plug in a 1, 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. And I can go the other way. Negative 1 up 2. So if I graph this, negative 1 down 2, put a dot. Over 0 down 1, put a dot. And over 1 up 2, put a dot. Then I go negative 2 down 1 and put a dot. And I go negative 3 up 2 and I put a dot. So this is what my graph is going to look like. The domain from left to right is always negative infinity, positive infinity. And the range, in this case, it's going to be greater than or equal to negative 2. Okay, on to the next one. So first thing, negative b over 2a. So I have negative 4 over negative 4. So x equals 1. So I plug it back in. So negative 2 times 1 squared. 1 squared is 1. So negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I have 1 comma 3 for my vertex. And that goes here in the middle. I go up 2, 3. So then if I plug in a 2, 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then I plug in a 3. Negative 2 times 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Negative 18 plus 12 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. Okay, then I'm going to go down. 0, negative 1. So if I plug in a 0, I have 0 plus 0 plus 1. So I have 1. Plug in negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus negative 4 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5. So then I graph these. Over 1, up 3. Over 2, up 1. Over 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I go to 0, up 1. Negative 1, negative 5. So then I can graph that. Remember, always put arrows on the end of your parabolas. The domain is from negative infinity to positive infinity. And y is less than or equal to 3. Okay, on to the next. It says solve by factoring. So remember, this is just how normal factoring is from the last test, except at the end we set it equal to 0. So this one, two numbers that multiply to negative 20, but add to give me 8. So I'm going to have 10 and 2. I know that one has to be positive. That one has to be negative. So I set this equal to 0. Set this equal to 0. So x equals negative 10. And x equals 2. Okay, now this one. Remember, this is a difference of squares. Remember, the formula is a plus b, a minus b. So I have x plus 7, x minus 7. Okay, on to the next one. It looks like we have to pull out a greatest common factor. So I'm going to pull out a 2. I'm left with x squared plus 4x minus 32. Okay, then I need two numbers that multiply to give me negative 32, but add to give me 4. So I know those two numbers are going to be 8 and 4. So this one has to be positive, and that one has to be negative, because 8 minus 4 is 4. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. So set these both equal to 0. So x equals negative 8. X equals 4. Okay, last one. If you look at it, there's nothing I can pull out. So I'm going to do the AC method. 6 times negative 15 is 90. Negative 90. Okay. B is 1. So I know my two factors have to be 9 and 10. And I know that 9 has to be negative. So I have 6x squared minus 9x plus 10x minus 15. Okay, so then I combine our group. So I can pull out an x here. Let's pull out a 3x. So I'm left with 2x minus 3. And here I can pull out a 5. And I'm left with 2x minus 3. So combine what's on the outside. So 3x plus 5. And combine what's on the inside. 2x minus 3. So I set these both equal to 0. So subtract 5 from both sides. So I have 3x equals negative 5. Then divide both sides by 3. So x equals negative 5 over 3. Okay, then on this one I add 3 to both sides. So 2x equals 3. Divide both sides by 2. So x equals 3 over 2. Okay, next one says quadratic formula. So we learned this in class. Just really soak this in. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's the only time you'll hear me sing this here. So we do negative b. So negative 5 is 5 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 25, minus 4ac all over 2a. So I combine what's on the inside now. 5 plus or minus 25 plus, looks like 56 all over 2. So I have 5 plus or minus square root of 81 over 2. And I have 5 plus or minus 9 over 2. So 5 plus 9 is 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So that's one of our answers. 5 minus 9 is negative 4. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So those are my two answers. Okay, on to the next one. So this is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I have to combine like terms here. Okay, so I have negative 3 plus or minus the square root. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 20 is 160. So I have 9 plus 169 divided by 4. So I have negative 3 plus or minus 13 divided by 4. So negative 3 plus 13 is going to be 10. 10 divided by 4 can be simplified down to 5 divided by 2, and that's one of our answers. Negative 13 minus 13 is negative 16. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. Those are my two answers. Okay, on to the next one. It's completing the square. So I have x squared plus 14x. Remember, I move that to the other side and leave a blank there. Then I take half of the second letter, so half of b, and square it. So 7 squared is 49. And I add it to both sides. Okay, then I combine like terms. Okay, then I factor this. This is x plus 7 and x plus 7. Because 7 times 7 is 49. 7 plus 7 is 14. Okay, then I have x plus 7 squared equals 87. To get rid of a squared, I take the square root. So I have x plus 7 equals plus or minus the square root of 87. And then I just subtract 7 from both sides. So my final answer is x equals positive square roots of 87 minus 7. And x equals negative square roots of 87 minus 7. Those are my two answers. Okay, on to the next one. This one's really nice because the 20 is already in its right spot. So I do x squared plus 2x plus a blank equals 20. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is just 1. So add to both sides. So this simplifies down to x plus 1 and x plus 1 equals 21. Then I have x plus 1 squared equals 21. Then I divide both sides, or not divide, take the square root of both sides. So I'm left with x plus 1 equals the square root of 21. So then I subtract 1 from both sides. So x equals positive square roots of 21 minus 1. And x equals negative square roots of 21 minus 1. Okay, one more problem in the entire thing. It says Henry's installing a rectangular pool in his backyard. Attaboy, Henry. It says the pool needs to have a length of 10 feet more than the width. So I don't know what the width is, so I'm going to call it x. And the length of the pool is 10 feet longer than the width. Then I got this yard that goes around the pool. And it says it's 3 times the width, and it measures 5 feet more. Okay, it's also a square, so it's the same width and length. So first thing I'm going to do is find the area of the pool. Okay, my goal is to find this area outside of the pool. That's our area, or our goal. Let's find the area around the pool. So x times x is x squared. X times 10 is 10x. Okay, that's the area of the pool. Then to find the area of the backyard, 3x plus 5 and 3x plus 5. This is when that song should be going off in your head. We have first, outside, inside, last. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. 5 times 3 is 15x. 5 times 5 is 25. So I have 9x squared plus 30x plus 25. Okay, so all we have to do now is subtract the two. So minus x squared minus 10x. I'm subtracting the pool from the backyard to give us all this space around the pool. So 9x squared minus 8x, or minus x squared, is just going to be 8x squared. 30x minus 10x is going to be 20x. And then I'm just left with 25. So that is our answer to what the area of the space outside of the pool is. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let us know if you have any questions.